This meeting of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Present.
Freeholder Vice President Gill.
Present.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Jones.
Present.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Here.
Freeholder Siebel.
Here.
Freeholder Toro.
Here.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Here. Thank you. Please stand for the salute of our flag, and I ask that Freeholder Siebel lead us in the salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing as we remember those who we lost. We just celebrated our Irish celebration, and we just want to remember again Raymond Durkin and Brendan Tevlin, who was taken from us at just the tender age of 19. Thank you. So I have before me a certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, let's move to public comment session. On agenda items for action only, for the members of the public who are here this evening and for those at home watching on TV, tonight's meeting is a conference meeting when we generally only discuss resolutions that will be voted at our board meeting, which will be the following meeting next Wednesday. Tonight, however, we will vote on resolutions 1, 2, 3, 13, and 14. So at this point in the agenda, if there are any members of the public that wish to speak on agenda items only, please come forward, state your name and affiliation for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there are no members of the public wishing to speak on agenda items only. If there are any members of the public that would like to speak on any issue at all, please come forward to the microphone and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Okay. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there is no one wishing to speak on any issues at this time. Madam Clerk, I see that we have no ordinances on introduction and first reading.
That is correct.
Okay. And I see that we have an ordinance 2015-00003 and 2 resolutions R 2015-00143 and R 2014-00144 listed for second reading and public hearing at next week's meeting.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay. And Madam Clerk, I see we have no other ordinances or resolutions for second reading and public hearing at tonight's meeting. So let's move to resolution number 1, 2, and 3. 2 of which are advice and consent nominations to the Essex County Advisory Board of Arts, and the other is an Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board. We will vote on them tonight, so please read them. Resolutions number...
Resolution number 1, advise and consent nomination for the reappointment of Marcy Thompson to the Essex County Advisory Board for the Arts. Resolution 2, advise and consent nomination for the reappointment of Jane Mitchell Elias to the Essex County Advisory Board for the Arts. Madam President, resolution number 3 has been withdrawn by the administration.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chilala?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. The administration is pleased to present to the board this evening Marcy Thompson to serve on the Advisory Board of the Arts. Her term will run through June 30th, 2016. And in Resolution 2, Ms. Jane Mitchell Eselhoff, her term will run through June 30th of 2017. If I can invite them both up to the microphone to introduce themselves to the board and give you a little background on their experiences.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Jane Mitchell Eliasoff. I don't know where Marcy is. Sorry.
Would you I'm sorry, what did you
I'm
say?
Jane. Of
Jean?
the two, yeah.
Okay, and your affiliation?
I'm with the Montclair Historical Society. I'm actually on the history part of the Arts and History Advisory
Great.
Board.
Great, okay. To tell us a little about yourself?
Sure, I've actually been serving on this board now, I guess, for 3 years, and I am the executive director of the Montclair Historical Society and have been for almost 5 years. And I came about it after a number of years doing a lot of other things, but this is history, and the preservation of history has always been a passion of mine. So I'm happy to be able to serve on this board to continue that passion.
Thank you so much, Marcy. Mr. Chilella?
Yes, I'm not certain if Ms. Thompson is in the audience. If not, if we can carry her over till next meeting, Madam
Okay,
President?
we'll carry over to next meeting, so we won't take action on resolution number 2. Thank you. Okay, so we thank you so much for coming out tonight, and we're going to take action on this vote tonight, and we're going to push resolution number 2, the reappointment of Jane Mitchell, to the next meeting. So, Madam Clerk, can you call this mover in a second? Can I get a mover?
Madam President, I believe it's Ms. Marcy Thompson is who we're moving to next week. This
Okay, so we
evening,
have
we'll
Ms.
vote
Jane
on
Mitchell with us.
Ms. Mitchell, yes.
Thank you. When you came to the mic first, I thought you were the first one listed here. You're the second one. Okay. So we're going to take action on resolution number 2. Can I have a mover and a second?
Move it.
Moved by Freeholder Richardson, second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo. Yes. Freeholder Toro.
Yes.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Yes.
So moved.
And congratulations, and thank you so much for your work. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to resolutions number 4 through 12, which are nominations to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Please read them.
Resolution 4, advise and consent nomination for the appointment of Sister Linda Delgado to the Essex County Commission on Aging and Advisory Board. Resolution 5, advise and consent for the nomination and the appointment of Gloria Robinson Mills to the Essex County Commission on Aging and Advisory Board. Resolution number 6, advise and consent to for the nomination to the appointment of Carol Lipton to the Essex County Commission on Aging and the Advisory Board. Resolution 7, advise and consent nomination for the appointment of Cynthia De Souza to the Essex County Commission on Aging and the Advisory Board. Resolution number 9, advise and consent for the nomination for the reappointment of Lillian Hips to the Essex County Commission on Aging and the Advisory Board. Resolution 9, advise and consent nomination for the reappointment of Helen Stevens to the Essex County Commission on Aging and Advisory Board. Resolution number 10, advise and consent nomination for the reappointment of James Baylor Williams to the Essex County Commission on the Aging Advisory Board. Resolution 11, advise and consent nomination for the reappointment of Janie Lewis to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Resolution 12, advise and consent nomination for the reappointment of Donald R. Carney to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's move to resolutions number 13 and 14, which the administration is also requesting that we take action. Please read. Yes, please list those, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Resolution 13, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, approval to amend the area plan grant, standardized board resolution form. Resolution, Department of Citizen Service, Division of Senior Services, approval to amend the statewide respite care program grant, standardized board resolution form.
Let's take discussion on these. Okay, can I have a mover and a second to take 13 and 14? Moved by Freeholder Jones,
Second.
seconded by Freeholder Toro. Mr. Chalala?
Yes, Madam President. Resolution 13 is we're requesting the board take action on this evening. In order for the county to receive the funding for this program, this resolution must be passed by this governing body and submitted to Trenton so that we can actually receive the funds to operate the program. Resolution 14, again, it's the allocation of $594,000 of grant dollars for our respite care program. The state also needs this resolution adopted by this governing body so that we can receive the funding and move forward on these very serious and important services to our elderly.
Thank you. Freeholders, any questions or comments? Mr. Palavecchio, any questions?
No, not on these.
Mr. McInerney? Okay, I have no questions. Roll call, Madam Clerk. A mover in a second.
We have mover and
We
second
thought
on 13
yeah,
and 14.
Toro and Freeholder
Freeholder
Jones.
Jones.
Roll call, please.
Thank you. Freeholder Toro,
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel,
Yes.
Freeholder Richardson,
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano absent, Freeholder Jones,
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson absent, Freeholder Vice President Gill,
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla,
Yes.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Yes,
So moved.
thank you. Mr. Chalala, I'd actually like to go back. Do you have any members from resolutions number 4 through 12 who are here tonight that would like to speak?
Yes, I know of two individuals that could not make it, but I will call their names up, and if they can come up to the microphone, introduce themselves and tell a little bit about themselves to the board so you can get acquainted. The first I'd like to call up is Sister Linda Delgado.
Please come forward, Ms. Delgado.
Good evening. I am a Dominican Sister of Hope, and I came to this commission by answering an email placed by the governor, and I was complaining about the transportation, the bus transportation in Essex County. His office contacted me and asked me, would I like to be on a committee? And of course I said yes. And that's how I came to be on this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. And for your tenacity. That's great. Do we have anyone else, Mr. Chalala?
Is Ms. Gloria Robinson Mills, if she can come up to the microphone?
My name is Gloria Robinson Mills. A little bit about me. I retired from Essex County Welfare in 2009, and I'm currently active in different community projects. Right now, I'm working with the Clothesline Project, which is a display of T-shirts designed by survivors of domestic violence. And I'd like to invite people to come out to Essex County College tomorrow, 1:30 to 2:30 for a reception. They're co-hosting this display.
Can you say it again, the address?
Essex County College, right on the corner, across the street.
Right.
1:30 to 2:30. We're having a reception.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's for, this is recorded, so you get the word out there. Thank you so much. Mr. Cello, is there anyone else?
Resolution number 6, Carol Lipton.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here finally. I've been working with the commission, the board, the Senior Advisory Board for about 3 years. And my background is as a social worker, which I'm not doing any longer right now. I had family issues at home. But my call in life has always been to help people. People in need, people who need services, people who need connections, networking. I just love to do that. I like to match people with with the help they need. And that's why I'm here. I want to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. May God bless you as you serve and also with your family at home. Is there anyone else, Mr. Chalala?
I'm not certain if Cynthia D'Souza is in the audience. No. Lillian Hicks? No. Okay. Helen Stevens?
All right.
Good evening. I happen to get involved in the Division of Seniors by coming to the office one day to get a bus to go to New York or to go to the Meadowlands. And I had a problem, and I went to the director and expressed my feelings about not getting the bus on time, and therefore I was successful in getting the trip, and after that, she asked me was I interested in being on the commissioner. I enjoy working with seniors and helping them, and I live in a building where there are many seniors, and I enjoy helping them in the community. So the job is very satisfying to me.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens, and you are wearing that hat. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And Madam President, I believe we have one more, Mr. Donald Carney.
Good evening, everyone.
Mr. Carney.
It's a great pleasure to be here and to be with this committee that I'm learning so much. The things that seniors and disabled people, housing and transportation, and the great job that you guys are doing. And I'm just happy to be a part of this. I think Kennedy said it, President Kennedy said it best. Not ask what we could do for our country, yes, but what we can do for our country. So to be involved in the government, in the learning experience is great. Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. Mr. Chalala, that concludes the...
Yes, Madam President.
Well, thank you so much. It's so nice to see you all out here, and thank you for coming forward to meet us. And I know, some of you have been serving for some time. Yes? Is there one more?
No, I believe that's all of them, Madam President.
There's someone at the microphone. State
Just
your
very
name.
quickly, I'd like
Name and affiliation. for the
my name
record.
is Beverly Oliphant, and I am president of the Essex County Senior Services Advisory Commission. And I'd first like to congratulate you on your recent election. And I'd also like to tell the chosen board of freeholders, we just want to say how thankful we are that you work with us. We appreciate you, and we look forward to working with you in the future. That's all we want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we share the same sentiments, and we can't do a great job without you. And, you are those that have paved roads for us, so your input is certainly needed. You wanted to come to the mic to say something else?
We missed one person, Robinson.
Mr. Chalala, do you have a...
She's not, that individual's not up for this evening.
Okay. Okay. Freeholder Siebold.
Thank you. I read through all the resumes of all the people who are going to be appointed or reappointed to the board, and I was impressed that each one of them has some type of work with senior citizens above and beyond acting on this being on this advisory board, and I was very impressed by the fact that there are so many people who are willing to give their time and energy to serve on this board and serve in many other capacities, helping the seniors in this county. So thank you very much for being so willing to serve.
Freeholders, do you have any comments? Any other comments from any other freeholders? No? Hearing none? Thank you again. We're going to list it and we'll vote on it next week. Thank you so much for coming out. And please get home safe. I hope it's raining and not snowing. Okay, Madam Clerk, can you please read let's move to resolution number 15, and can you please read it?
Yes. Resolution 15, Department of Economic Development and Training and Employment, Division of Housing and Community Development. Amend an agreement with the Family Connections Incorporated Community Development Block Grant Program to reflect the change in the scope of services.
Thank you. Mr. Chalala?
Yes, Madam President. This is an amendment to a grant to the Family Connection. This resolution has no additional funding or terms added to it. The only thing this resolution is addressing is a change in scope of the work to be included in the project, and this change in the scope entails the replacement of a carpet in their neighborhood facilities facility with the existing CDBG allocation.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio, do you have any questions?
I don't, Madam President.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Okay. Freeholders, any questions or comments? Freeholder Toro?
What is the contract amount now with this amendment?
Mr. Serio, could you address that?
George Serio, Director, Division of Housing and Community Development. The original CDBG subrecipient agreement was for $15,000.
And it remains at 15?
It remains at $15,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholders, any other questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none, Madam Clerk? Please list it, and let's move to resolution number 16.
Resolution number 16, Department of Economic Development, Training and Employment, Division of Housing and Community Development, Professional Services Agreement to prepare an analysis of impediments to fair housing choice in Essex County, Sustainable Communities Associates, $22,500.
Thank you. Mr. Chalala?
Yes, Madam President. This resolution will allow the department to contract out for an analysis of the federal, state, and local law that regulates and administers policies, procedures, and practices, as well as assessment of how those laws affect, as well as the availability and accessibility of housing, and the identification of mandate of conditions for both the public and private that affect housing choices. We do have Mr. Serio, the Director of the Department, here with us this evening to answer any additional questions the board may have on this contract.
Thank you. Mrs. Serio? Mr. Polavecchio, do you have any questions?
No, I don't, Madam President.
No
Mr.
questions. Madam
McInerney?
President, no.
Freeholders? Okay. Thank you. I don't have any questions. I do have a comment for Mr. Serio. Mr. Serio, you're doing a great job down there.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Madam
you.
President.
It's certainly been a pleasure to work close with you on these housing issues.
We're,
And,
we're happy to do it. We
yeah.
appreciate all the support we get from the board and from the administration.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please list 16.
Yes.
And let's move to resolution number 17.
Resolution 17, Division of Youth Services Educational Contract with Essex Regional Educational Services Commission to provide educational services to eligible students housed at the Essex County Juvenile Detention Facility for year 2015, amount not to exceed $1,009,000.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chalala?
Yes, Madam President. Last week, we did have a freeholder visit to our youth detention center, and at that time, a number of freeholders visited the facility And one of the areas of our facility that was really highlighted during the tour and the visit was the educational component that is conducted at our detention center. We do offer a full day of education. The Educational Service Commission and Dr. Young has been providing this service to the county for many years. They've been highly successful in high school GEDs, equivalencies, getting our young men and women on the right path, getting them engaged in education. We have Dr. Young with us this evening, but at this point in time, I'd like to also bring up Dennis Hughes, Reverend Hughes, who last week was our deputy director at our juvenile detention center. We did have a retiree at the jail, and as the county executive likes to promote from within, our director at the youth house, Mr. Charles Green, is, I'll bring him up later on in the evening for a corrections matter, but he's been moved up to the warden at our jail. And Reverend Hughes, who was the deputy, is now our director of our youth detention center. So at this point in time, if I may bring up Reverend Hughes as well as Dr. Young.
Thank you. Hi. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. And
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Young. I'm Superintendent of Essex Regional Educational Services Commission, as well as the principal of Sojourn High School, located at the Essex County Juvenile Detention Center.
thank you. Lead the clap, Mr. Wadu. I said, go ahead and lead the clap.
She's been there. She's been doing a good job for years.
It's wonderful.
My name is Dennis Hughes. I'm presently serving as director of the Essex County Juvenile Detention Center. Was formerly the superintendent at the Essex County Juvenile Detention Center.
Thank you so much. Okay. Freeholder Seabolt, questions and comments from
Thank you.
freeholders?
I had the wonderful opportunity of visiting the detention center, and Reverend Hughes took us on an excellent tour of the facility, and I really saw how it works from every aspect. We went from one place to the other. We spent a lot of time, and Reverend Hughes did a wonderful job. And Dr. Young gave us a whole rundown on exactly what they do in the school. And of course, since I'm a retired school teacher, education is very important to me. I taught for 30 years. And Dr. Young went into all the details of how they are educating those who are at the juvenile detention center. And Dr. Young is doing really a fantastic job of educating those kids, and it was wonderful listening to you and hearing what you had to say about what you were doing at the facility. Both of you should be very proud of the work that you are doing there, because it was really very impressive. It really was, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Freeholder Richardson?
Thank you, Madam President. I also was one of those attendees, and I took that tour. I rode past that building for many, many years. I've never gone inside, and I was blown away by what you guys do. First of all, let me say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
For being, for moving up, over being a director now. Congratulations. And like Freeholder Seabolt said, you were our tour guide, and the amount of information that you were able to disseminate to us without any cue cards was just incredible. So that just lets us know how knowledgeable you are. And so there was one award that you guys got, and it highlighted the #1 juvenile facility in the country.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's outstanding. It's outstanding to be #1 in anything, to be the best at whatever it is, and the way that the youngsters are treated is just outstanding. I was happy to be able to take that tour, and I know it'll just continue under your leadership and you and Dr. Young. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Jones?
I'm just surprised when I walked past this lady. She and I served together 25 years ago. I served as a commissioner to the region with Dr. Young, and she was doing an excellent job then. And from what I've heard from my colleagues, she's still doing a fantastic job. And I'm just happy because I know that you know what you're doing. And the Township of Irvington is their representative during that time, and I was the board president. You did an excellent job for our students. So I'm just going to pray and hope that you continue the good work. And if there's anything I can do in terms of facilitating and to help out or to promote whatever, but it's dealing with children, I'll be more than happy. And to the Reverend, I did not take the tour, but congratulations on your new promotion.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio? Any questions or comments?
No, no additional questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Any other freeholders? Thank you so much for your service, and I do look forward to also taking the tour.
Thank you.
Thank you. I like this audience tonight. Clapping. Can you, we meet every Wednesday. Feel free to come. Madam Clerk, please list it, and let's move to resolution number 18.
Resolution 18, Department of Corrections Contract Award to DS Waters of America Incorporated to furnish and deliver bottled water and cooler rental, exercising two-year contract option, amount not to exceed $66,875.
Thank you. Mr. Chella, can you please explain?
Yes, Madam President. These are the water coolers in our correctional facility. It breaks down to $2.99 per 5-gallon container and $1.30 per month for the actual cooler rental. At this time, we do have Director Ortiz with us. If I can call upon Mr. Ortiz to come up to the mic and introduce some new appointments this week. One being Charles Green, elevated to the warden at our facility, and Miss Virginia Dudley, who will be heading up a very important initiative the county executive announced that is State of the County, and that's our reentry program. At this time, I give you Al Ortiz.
Thank you, Mr. Chilella. Madam President, Al Ortiz, Director of the Essex County Jail. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce our new warden. Our former warden has retired, and it's Mr. Green is a known quantity of ours because he was one of us in his other life as a lieutenant, and then he went to the detention center, so he knows full well what we do, and he's a welcome addition. If I can just have him real quickly say a few words.
Madam President, my name is Charles Green. I'm now the warden at Essex County Correctional Facility.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. I would like to say that today is a happy moment for me, also a sad moment. You know, I'm leaving behind a facility that's been over at 7.5 years. But knowing that I'm leaving it in good hands make me feel great.
Yes.
Because they couldn't choose a better person to be the director of that facility. We've done a lot in the past 7.5 years, and they look to do even more. And with your assistance, they will.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio? Any
No
questions or comments?
No, not on this one.
Okay, Mr. McInerney?
No comments.
Okay. Freeholders, Freeholder Siebold?
Thank you. Going back to the juvenile detention center, Warden Green, is Warden your title?
Yes.
He did a wonderful job when we were at the detention center. And then, of course, a few days later, or maybe one day later, I went to Delaney Hall, and Al Ortiz took us on the tour, and Mr. Green was there. So it was like from one day to the next. But Al Ortiz gave us a wonderful tour of Delaney Hall, and like the detention center, I saw everything in action. Everybody was doing something. Something was going on, and we really went from one place in the facility to the other. And I think that was probably the third or fourth time I've been there. And I have been to the detention center at least 3 times also. But this time, for both trips, I really saw how you operate and what is going on. And it was very, very impressive to see two facilities run by such excellent people doing such a good job with all those who unfortunately have to be housed there. So thank you for all that you do.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Freeholder Richardson?
I just want to say congratulations on your promotion to warden, and I too echo the sentiments that they couldn't have picked a better guy. I saw what you did, what you were part of at the Juvenile Detention Center, and I'm sure going forward with that same mindset and your knowledge of the facility and what needs to take place, that you'll do an excellent job. You'll be an excellent warden over there where you're going now. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Freeholder Jones?
From a personal note, I want to thank Charles. We go back many, many years. My sister is his godmother. And Pauline and Walt has done an excellent job, and I know your parents are very happy for you, and I am happy, and you're well-deserving of that promotion. And God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other comments or questions? Freeholder Gill?
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to echo the comments of my freeholder, Mr. Green. It's my second term, but in the first term, very impressed with what you've accomplished. You leave a legacy, and couldn't be happier that you're in that position. And can say to you personally, you'll have my support here on this board for whatever you need to do that job to the best of your ability, because I know you will do it. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Mr. Green, congratulations. And I was there when we celebrated the juvenile facility receiving the award, and I'm sure you're going to carry that momentum forward into the correctional facility. So congratulations to you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for the tour. I did attend yesterday as well. I wish I could say that it was wonderful. You are doing a good job, reserving the dignity and the humanity of those that are there. I can't say the tour is wonderful because it wasn't exactly a tour of Disney World. You're dealing with a series of unfortunate circumstances that people have found themselves in that need help there. But I'm glad that you are the one that is there to lead in providing that help. Thank you. Freeholder Toro?
Madam President, through you, I would love for the opportunity for the other individual who's running an important initiative as well.
If I can just introduce, Madam President, through you. We have undertaken an initiative to help us in both ways. One is a revenue stream, but more importantly, in my 39 years in corrections, there's been a lot of talk about reentry. And now we're looking to do certain things that will make that come to where we need to be, especially individuals that are incarcerated long-term, done prolonged amounts of time in state prisons, and are reaching their 6 months, about to go out, but basically have nowhere to go, no knowledge, no nothing other than their incarceration. We are now entering into a phase where we're going to be taking those individuals at Essex County and have job skills, abilities to life skills, resume writing, getting them home, housing if necessary, referral to medical because some of those are infirmed. And I would like to present right now the person who is going to be our coordinator, reentry coordinator, spearheading that along with us, and the new warden is Virginia St. Far Dudley. And she's eminently qualified for this, and with the Department of Corrections, State Department of Corrections, and Essex County, this is a new initiative. There are other reentry programs out there, but this one is from within before they go out. So, Virginia, if you can just say a few words.
Hi, Virginia.
Good evening, Madam President. I just want to say thank you for having me here today. My background, I have background in social work. I'm a licensed social worker with the state of New Jersey. Received my master's at Rutgers University. I've been working for the Essex County Department of Corrections for 8 years now in the social service department. I've been in the field of social work for about 10 plus years. I'm just really excited about this new initiative. We are still at the beginning stages, but I'm confident. I'm looking forward to working with the many different departments within Essex County so we can collaborate, which is the most important piece, is collaboration, so we can make this program successful.
Great. Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Virginia, congratulations. We look forward to your services. Ralph, is this a standalone new department, or does it fall under corrections?
This will be
reentry initiative.
This will be under the Department of Corrections. However, there, as Virginia had mentioned, there is a strong connection to other departments within the county, primarily the Department of Citizen Services, Division of Welfare, Division of Employment and Training, the Health and Rehabilitation. So it is a separate program under corrections. It is not a separate entity in itself, but they will be collaborating with the other 4 departments in the County of Essex.
Understood, thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Toro.
I just want to say that I had the fortunate experience of, before being elected, to actually intern when she was interning as well at the same time. So I've seen her at work, and I'm very confident that she will lead this initiative and be very successful.
That's great. Freeholder Freeholder.
Oh, I just wanted to congratulate Virginia for the job that you're going to do, and everyone is giving you praise, and I do believe that you're dedicated to helping people. And that is one of the things that has always concerned me, is the reentry. So many of our young people come out and they're looking for jobs or resource areas, and there is none. Many times lay people don't know what to do, but if it's in the system, that is a plus in itself, and hopefully we'll have 100% success. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Richardson.
Through you, Madam President. And I too want to congratulate you, and it's a very important initiative. People talk about prison reentry all the time. So in my day job, I'm president of Laborers Local 55, which is a residential construction local. So if there's anything that we can do to assist you with skills and job opportunity, career opportunities, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Make sure you get my information, and if you want me to come and talk to these young men and women about job and job opportunities, career readiness, and those types of things, and the skills that they're going to need, we have an apprenticeship program. So there's a bunch of things that I can help you with, and I would like to assist. So don't hesitate. Make sure you get my information before you leave here.
Thank you.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Welcome. And I echo the same sentiments of my colleagues, except for Freeholder Jones. I don't have anybody's godson. I'm not. But thank you so much. Reentry is very important. You know, and the administration knows this is something that I have been, and the freeholders have been extremely vocal about. It's not enough to just, you know, have a person who has committed a crime and place them away, and then they get released right back out and, you know, to society right after their sentence, but they haven't learned anything. They haven't learned how to participate and be a productive citizen. And it behooves us, even financially, you know, if you break it down that way, to do proper reentry to help people turn around their lives. And I see Essex County is indeed moving in that direction to help reform people, so that there's not a constant revolving door, and so that we are not going to be that government, no longer going to be that government that's solely balancing the budget mainly based off of, you know, others' mishaps. Thank you. My clapping crew. No, seriously, make sure you come next Wednesday. If you don't know the time or the schedule, you can stop by to Mr. Tedesco. He'll let you know the whole year, the schedule, okay? On your way out. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please listen. Let's move to resolution number 19.
Resolution 19, Department of Corrections Contract Award to Keefe Commissary Network for operation of the Essex County at the correctional facility, exercising 2-year contract option, revenue to the county.
Thank you. Mr. Chalala?
Yes, Madam President. This is a revenue source to the County of Essex, but it's not really to the County of Essex. It actually goes into our prisoner benefits fund. These are commissary items, anything from an envelope to shampoo that the inmates can purchase. The commission from those sales go into this fund. There is a portion of that fund that must go into a victim's crime compensation board, but the balance, it's 10%, I believe. The balance goes into this fund, and that is utilized for various items for the inmates, which include recreational equipment, toiletries, laundry equipment, televisions, law library updates, as well as the gym. I would also like to say that these prices are the same as they were 2 years ago, and we are very pleased with Keith Commissary. My understanding is that they've been providing this commissary to the jail for possibly 8 or 9 years, Madam President.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio, do you have any questions or comments?
No, he answered my question that the price is staying the same because this is an existing 2-year contract, and will be approval of this will exercise an additional 2 years. So that was my only question.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders, any questions or comments? I do have a question. Mr. Shalala, is this group that is providing the services for the same price to the county? That's wonderful. I'm glad that it's not going up. But I do have a question regarding their internal pricing for the inmates and whether or not they were changing or increasing prices for the inmates.
No, Madam President. Those prices remained frozen for the last 2 years.
Okay. Thank you.
You will.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, please list it, Madam Clerk, and let's move to resolution number 20.
Resolution 20, Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Purchasing, contract with IMR Limited to provide proprietary software, on-base licensing, and maintenance services for 2015, amount not to exceed $2,576.
Thank you. Mr. Shalala?
Madam President, normally it's unlikely that you would see a contract come to the board for this amount. Usually anything over $17.5 will come to the board with. However, many using agencies throughout the county have utilized this vendor for licensing and maintenance support, which brings us over the $17,500 open public contract limit. Therefore, we are bringing back to this board the contract for the $2,576 amount.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio, any questions or comments?
No.
Mr. McInerney? Okay, freeholders, any questions or comments? Hearing none, please list it, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolution 21.
Resolution 21, commendation, 64th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15, 2015. Designation of Main Street as Sayers Boulevard. Oh,
That's 22.
Wait a minute.
oops, did I miss one?
You went to 22?
Oh, Madam
Well,
President.
these are all commendations, so we can,
Yeah, 21.
21 through 33 are all commendations.
Okay. Madam President, I skipped to 22. I should have read 21. Would you like me to read 21?
Yes, please.
21, in memoriam for Bruce Sinofsky, sponsored by Freeholder Gill. Now I'll go to 22.
Yes, you can read the commendations today, and we will just take them all, next meeting if the freeholders so choose, but we will read them for the record today.
Commendation, this is Resolution 22. Commendation, 64th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15th, 2015. Designation of Main Street as Sayers Boulevard, sponsored by Freeholder Gill and Luciano. Commendation, Resolution 23, Commendation, 80th Anniversary of the Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade, Friday, March 13th, 2014. Proclamation of March 13th, 2015 as St. Patrick's Day in Essex County, sponsored by Freeholders Gill and Luciano. Resolution 24, Commendation honoring Bishop Norman Prescott on his 85th birthday, sponsored by Freeholders Timberlake and Toro. Resolution 25, Commendation John K. Sayers, Grand Marshal of the 74th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15, 2015, sponsored by Freeholders Gill and Luciano. Resolution 26, Commendation for Phyllis O'Keefe, Deputy Grand Marshal of the 64th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15, 2015, sponsored by Freeholders Guild and Luciano. Resolution 27, Commendations, Tom Malkinski.
Vice President Gill, is that the right pronunciation? Okay.
Deputy Grand Marshal of the
Which one are we on?
27.
No, I mean, I just,
Hey, keeping it real.
of the 64th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15th, 2015, sponsored by Freeholders Guild and Luciano. Resolution 28, Accommodations Bill Kehoe, Deputy Grand Marshal of the 64th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15, 2015, sponsored by Freeholder Guild and Luciano. Resolution 29, Commendation, Jim Williams, Deputy Grand Marshal of the 64th Annual West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 15, 2015, sponsored by Freeholder Guild and Luciano. Resolution 30, Commendation, Rose Marie Melody, Grand Marshal of the 80th Annual Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade, March 13th, 2015, sponsored by Freeholders Guild and Luciano. Resolution 31, Commendation for Reverend Patrick Donahoe, Deputy Grand Marshal of the 80th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, March 13th, 2015, sponsored by Freeholders Guild and Luciano. Resolution 32, in memory of Brendan Patrick Telvin, sponsored by Freeholders Guild and Luciano. Resolution 33, Commendation honoring Meeting Emergency Needs with Dignity Men on his 35th anniversary, sponsored by Freeholder Timberlake.
Thank you. Freeholders, any questions or comments? Okay. Freeholder Richardson and Freeholder Siebel will be next.
Through you, Madam President, if Vice President Gilbert, y'all don't mind, I'd like to be added to 23, 32, and 33.
Yes, you can be added to 33. I think that's the mend.
I too was
Freeholder
going
Siebel?
to ask that I be included in number 33.
Absolutely. So please include Freeholder Richardson and Freeholder Siebold in 33. Freeholder Gill?
for 2023?
23 already been
Oh,
done?
of course, yeah.
Passed? Okay.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. I mean, just,
And 32.
absolutely, no, absolutely.
And free-
Just, I mean, just through you, Madam President, I mean, they were presented tonight, but for the record, I mean, I think they actually took the physical, but we'll make sure, I mean, I think absolutely for the record, we should do it.
Thank you.
And for the record, I'm extremely proud of Rosemarie Melody, who will be the first female Grand Marshal of the annual Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade this coming Friday, March 13th. And not this coming Friday, but Friday, March 13th. She is impressive. And as a woman, I couldn't be more proud. So for the record, I'd like to be added to commendation number 30.
Absolutely, Madam President.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Right, hearing none. Thanks. And 32 as well for Brendan Tevlin, for the record. Okay. Yes. Yes. All right, Madam Clerk, so please list the resolutions 21 through 33. And we're going to move to our report of board. Oh, Freeholder Siebold has a comment, question?
The commendations were already given tonight, right?
Yes.
So the one for Brendan Tevlin was already given to his family?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if I wanted to be included on that because it's already been done?
But for the record.
We
it
just,
matters.
that's what we just said. It's for the record, so out of respect, even though the commendations have already, the resolutions have already been given out of respect, we all understand that they were given out tonight at the St. Patrick's Day celebration, the Irish celebration. However, out of respect, we're asking to be added to that for the record.
Well, what does that mean? What happens if we're added after they've been given out?
It goes on the official record.
It does?
Yes.
All right, if so, then I would like to be included on 32.
Okay.
Okay.
Freeholder Siebold on 32. Are there any others that you'd like to be included on?
No, that's all right, thank you.
All right, and Freeholder Jones?
Just do, I would like to be added from 22 to 31.
22
For
through
the record,
31?
Yes, all of it.
I love it.
Okay.
22 to 31.
All my acclamations
Mhm.
from all of us.
Yeah, acclamation, just for the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice President Gill. All right, so now we're going to move to report of board committees. Fritos, do we have any report of the board committee? All right, hearing none, do we have any legislative reports? Any written communications? Any unfinished business? New business? Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to public comment section. Before I open it up to the floor, I just want to say, at last week's public comment session, the following Essex County College students addressed the board to express their distress about the proposed tuition increase that their college and the college president and the college trustees would be enforcing, not the Freeholder board. I just want to be very clear about that. That it would cause a serious hardship for them, if not prevent them from being able to continue their education. Yonisha Donaldson, Vice President of the Student Government, Lev Zimmermans, ECCAA Vice President, Student Life Editor, Andrew Negron, Anilyn Crawley, Tyreek Tucker, Barbara Cummings, and Divine Okay was the one that came to the microphone. A memo was sent out on the 3rd, and a response was received on the 4th. And again, it is not the Freeholder board that is proposing, nor is it the administration to raise tuition. I was very moved by the students coming forward to speak, and but they're going to have to do that with their president. Freeholders, any questions?
Through you, Madam President,
Yes,
just a
Freeholder
correction.
Richardson.
It's not, it's Tariq Tucker.
Oh, tell me how to say it?
Tariq,
Tariq. How did I say it?
said Terry.
I said Tariq. I renamed the man.
I just happen to know.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So with that said, do we have anybody here tonight that would like to speak? And if so, please come forward, state your name and affiliation for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Praise the Lord, everybody. My name is Tenful Evans, P.O. Box 2367, Newark, New Jersey. Take this with you. What I'm going to talk about tonight is, first off, what I'm going to talk about tonight is, I would like to know the procedure of getting a commission on the board when you appoint y'all commission on the board. And the reason why I'm coming with this here, this is an old thing, came up last week. Pass on each one of them. Pass on each one. What I'm gonna talk about.
You have to talk into the microphone, ma'am. I can't hear you.
Okay, this is concerned about your commission. It's an old thing what the complaint was, okay? His name is Walter Jacob. Walter Jacob went on TV last Tuesday, made a public statement, slandered my name, saying that I had locked him up and I had charged on him. It was not me at all. It was the president of the Tenant Association. Reason I'm coming with this today is, number one, I do not want my name slandered for something that I didn't do. Second of all, I'm a high citizen of the state of New Jersey. I am military. I did 30 years as a star. I do not want this on my record whatsoever. And I would like to know, how can you get a man be a commission and do some junk like this here? That's why I gave all of y'all a report to see what I'm talking about. You don't go out and slam nobody's name on something like this here. And you're supposed to be a commission? It was Ms. Corrine Sapp, who was the president of the Tenant Association on 1 Court Street. You hear me? Y'all hear me clear?
We can hear you.
Okay. She's the president of the Tenant Association. Mr. Jake was the president of the Tenant Association. They voted him out. and it made Miss Corrine Sapp, who is the president of that tenant association, and she had those charges brought to him for what he was doing. So this is what I'm telling you. I'm bringing it to your attention in the near future. If we pick people for be commissioned, let's find out what that position is. Commission is supposed to be a high standard when you pick a person for commission. You just don't go around and pick anybody for no commission. He must have a high standard. And this is not no high standard being on commission board like this here and for the Essex County plus of the state of New Jersey. Okay? Thank you very much, and I want to solve. Thank you.
Thank you. And in the beginning, I just want to ask you, what board did you say? Because I couldn't hear you.
What point did I say?
What board?
Huh?
What commission?
He was on the commission of, I think as a single citizen, I guess he was on that. He was a commission. Well, what board he was on, I cannot tell you now because it's been on there. But
Okay.
I know he did this, and I want to erase it.
Okay.
I do not want my young people coming up behind me and come up and somebody be a commission and don't know what a commission is.
Okay, I
Thank you.
understand. Thank you very much for your comment, and we will respond as is our practice in writing, okay?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And thank you for your courage to coming to the microphone. Do we have any other members from the public that wish to come to speak about any issue at all? Okay. Hearing none. Freeholders, do you have any comments you'd like to make? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
This meeting of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, please roll call.
Freeholder Bovadilla. Freeholder Vice President Gill, absent. Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Jones. Present. Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Richardson.
Here.
Freeholder Sebo, absent. Freeholder Toro.
Here.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Here. Okay, please stand to salute the flag. And I'm going to ask that Freeholder Bobadilla lead us in the salute. And please remain standing for a moment of silence. I have before me a certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. And ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to say that we're here in my hometown of East Orange. And I love this city. I love this city so much so that my mother and father, they met and fell in love at Uppsala University, which is no longer there. And my dad joined the Army. And from there, when he joined the military, I was born traveling all over. And we love the city so much that when I went to college, I came back. And both he and I have come back to the city of East Orange. And now it's incredible. It's just wonderful to be able to serve my city in an elected capacity. We also have with us here our mayor, Mayor Lester Taylor, in the audience here. Mayor, if you'd like to make a few remarks, please come forward. Thank you for allowing us to be here today it's my city, your house.
It's the people's house.
It's our city. It's the people's house.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, freeholders. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the great city of East Orange. I more affectionately refer to as paradise. And we are working day in and day out to provide a better quality of life, standard of living for our residents. I often say we have a mission and a vision statement excuse me, in East Orange. Our mission is to be the model of urban excellence. Our vision is to become a destination city. That is a mission and vision statement that we crafted with the input of my central administration last year, and it's a mission and vision that we share with all of our 900 plus employees day in and day out. So they know that what they do counts in the bigger picture. And with that, by extension, I thank the Board of Chosen Freeholders, as well as our county executive, for truly partnering with the great city of East Orange. Not just because the chair is a constituent of mine, but I'm a constituent of hers as well. But we are working diligently to be example, to show that Essex being first means something, not just in Essex County, but the state of New Jersey and the entire United States. So with that, I thank you for your commitment and your service to our great county. I thank you for hosting your meeting here tonight. And if there's ever anything I can do to work with you, I am here to be a true partner with you. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And for all the members of the public, we do this 8 to 10 times a year. We hold our meetings throughout the communities that we represent to make it easier for our constituents to be able to come forward and talk to us about issues and things that they need. So thank you again, Mayor, for having us here in the People's House in your great city. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved?
Madam President, there are none. Oh, transcripts, Madam President. I'm looking at topic of discussion. Yes, Madam President, there are 2 transcripts of conference meeting January 14, 2015, and conference board meeting January 28, 2015.
Okay. Freeholders, do you have any questions about the 2 transcripts? Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, and for the record, I'd like to acknowledge Freeholder Seabolt, who is now with us. Okay, Madam Clerk, please let's move to public comment session. For the members of the public who are here this evening, and for those who are home watching on TV tonight, this meeting is a board meeting, and we will vote on every item on our agenda, except for resolutions number 1, 7, 8, and number 10, which have been withdrawn by the administration. All other items were discussed in detail at last week's meeting, which is called a conference meeting. So at this point in the agenda, if there's any members of the public that would like to come forward to comment on agenda items only, please come forward to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. Okay, hearing none. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there are no members who wish to come to speak on agenda items only. If there are any members of the public who'd like to speak on any issue at all, please come forward to the microphone, and again, state your name and affiliation, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Eric Martindale. I live at 380 Mount Prospect Avenue in Newark. I've lived in Newark for 8 years, and I serve as the community organizer for the New Jersey Tenants Organization for Newark. And I was a registered Democrat when I moved to Newark in 2007. And in 2009, I joined a faith organization that encourages its members to not be part of political parties, so I'm now a registered independent. Just wanted to clarify that. I am here to inform county officials of the rent control movement in Newark, which has barely been reported by the media and not accurately. Serious organizing began at 380 and 402 Mount Prospect Avenue about 15 months ago when the landlords sought a special rent surcharge to cover $1.8 million in capital improvements for things like boiler and chiller repairs, roof replacement, brick repointing, security cameras, and other things which the tenants felt was their responsibility. After defeating that rent surcharge, we banded together with other tenant associations to rewrite the city's rent control ordinance. And that ordinance was passed on May 20th, 2014, following a tumultuous 3-hour public hearing. It affects 27,600 market rate units. It does not affect senior buildings, buildings under 30 years old, owner-occupied multifamily houses, or HUD buildings. Rent control is for everyone. It's the citizens against the mega landlords who are part of what they call the 1%. If the consumer price index averages 2%, it's actually running much lower right now. The average tenant will save $4,500 over 5 years. That's a lot of money. Over the next 5 years, this ordinance prevents over $100 million from being sucked out of our economy and into the pockets of out-of-state landlords. So the question is, what will the 27,600 families in Newark do with that money? And the answer is they will spend it. The $100 million plus will be respent in Essex County, in stores and restaurants, or used as down payments to buy homes. That boosts our economy instead of the money going out to New York City, California, Virginia, and other places. My current cause for concern is that several Democratic city council persons, namely Councilman Anibal Ramos, Councilwoman Gail Cheney-Field-Jenkins, and perhaps Councilman John Sharp James, are drafting a new ordinance to roll back one of the key victories of the rent control ordinance and effectively allow vacancy decontrol. The ringleader of this little movement appears to be Sabur Gai, who is the chief of staff for Councilman Ramos. My concern is that the Democratic Party has to stand for certain things. One of those things is rent control. Another is affordable housing. Vacancy decontrol is the practice of allowing landlords to rent units at market rate once the tenant moves out. And that vacancy decontrol is the opposite of affordable housing. We want to keep the rents lower for the next tenant.
Mr. Martindale, the clock has reached your 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to allow you to continue for 20 more seconds.
Thank you. Basically, we cannot have a situation in which elected Democrats in Essex County advance the cause of the Republican Party on economic issues. It's going to take several meetings to explain everything, and perhaps with multiple speakers. The Democratic Party is not getting a free pass as long as there are elected Democrats who undermine the principles of the party. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martindale. And thank you so much for your courage to come to the microphone and address the issue of affordable housing. It is indeed, outside of here, that's what I do, is affordable housing. And I invite you to come to the table to talk about these issues. As is our practice, we will respond in writing to you. However, before you leave today, I want to give you my information so that you can be, part of what it is that we're doing in the housing arena. I'm not too sure exactly how much we can help because it may be a city issue. And whether or not, let me be clear for the record, you're a Republican, Democratic, Independent, Green, it doesn't matter. Whether or not you voted for Ralph Nader or Barack Obama, it doesn't matter. You're a citizen here, and we are here to represent you and to represent your needs, and it's a humanity issue. Okay? Are there any other members of the public wishing to speak at this time? Luciano. Okay, hearing none. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there is no one else wishing to speak at this time on any issue at all. And Madam Clerk, I see that we have no ordinances for introduction and first reading.
That's correct.
Okay. Madam Clerk, I see that we do have two resolutions, R 2015-00143 and R 2015-00144, that are listed on tonight's agenda for action at next week's meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances on second reading and public hearing tonight?
Madam President, we do. Ordinance on second reading and public hearing, ordinance number O-2015-00003, ordinance naming the plaza on the south side of Essex County Hall of Records near Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard as the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza in honor of the civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Thank you. And I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance O 2015-00003 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation for the record, and again, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Okay? Hearing none, let the record reflect that there are no members of the public that would like to comment on this ordinance. Mr. Polavecchio, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't.
Freeholders, do you have any questions or comments? Freeholder Richardson.
Yeah, I just want to commend the county exec. He always seems to be out in front with these types of things, whether it be Rosa Parks or late Congressman Donald Payne, and now for Dr. Martin Luther King. We're going to be rolling out a statue later on this year. the county exec, the administration need to be commended for these types of things that they do on behalf of citizenry and on behalf of Essex County. So I just want to put that on the record.
Thank you. Freeholders, any other questions or comments? Thank you, Wayne. I share those same sentiments with you. Okay, freeholders, do I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on ordinance? Moved by Freeholder Libby Jones, seconded by Freeholder Toro. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance? Yes. Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolutions number 4, 5, 6, and 9, 11, and 12, which are all appointments to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Please read them.
Resolution 4, advising consent nomination for the appointment of Sister Linda Delgado to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Advising consent nomination for the appointment of Gloria Robinson Mills to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Resolution 6, advising consent nomination for the appointment of Carol Lipton to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Resolution 8, advising consent. Resolution 9. Resolution 8 has been withdrawn. Resolution 9, advising consent nomination for the reappointment of Helen Stevens to the Essex County Commission on Aging and Advisory Board. Resolution 11, advising consent nomination for the reappointment of Jamie Lewis to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board. Resolution 12, advising consent nomination for the reappointment of Donald R. Carney to the Essex County Commission on Aging Advisory Board.
Okay.
I believe that completes.
Okay. And freeholders, as you know, we met these nominees last week. So do I have a motion and a second to take resolutions 4, 5, 6, 9, 11, and 12 together as one?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Sebo, seconded by Freeholder Bobadilla. Please, let's move to resolution number 15.
Yes. Resolution number 15, Department of Economic Development, Training and Employment, Division of Housing and Community Development, amend an agreement with the Family Connections Incorporated Community Development Block Grant Program to reflect the change in scope of services.
Okay, thank you. And again, for members of the public, it may appear that we're moving quickly through the remainder of the agenda, but that's only because we've already discussed these resolutions in great detail last week, as well as in leadership meeting. Also, if it appears that we're missing resolutions in numerical order, it's only because some of them have been withdrawn by the administration or approved at last week's meeting. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second for resolution number 15? Moved by Freeholder Jones.
Second.
Seconded by Freeholder Richardson. Please, let's move to resolution number 16 and read.
Resolution 16, Department of Economic Development, Training and Employment, Division of Housing and Community Development, Professional Services Agreement to prepare an analysis of impediments to fair housing choice in Essex County, Sustainable Communities Associations, LLC, $22,500.
Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second for resolution number 16?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Sebo,
Second.
seconded by Freeholder Richardson. Let's move to resolution 17. Read.
Resolution 17, Department of Citizen Service, Division of Youth Services, Educational Contract with Essex County Regional Educational Services Commission to provide educational services to eligible students housed at the Essex County Juvenile Detention Facility for year 2015, amount not to exceed $1,900,000.
Thank you. Freeholders, have a motion and a second.
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Sebo, seconded by Freeholder Jones. Okay, Madam Clerk, please let's move to resolution number 18 and read.
Resolution number 18, Department of Corrections Contract Award to DS Waters of America Incorporated to furnish and deliver bottled water and cooler rental, exercising 2-year contract option, amount not to exceed $66,875.
Thank you. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
Moved.
Moved by Freeholder Richardson.
I'll second it.
Please, let's move to resolution number 19 and read.
Resolution 19, Department of Corrections Contract Award to Keefe Commissionaries Network for the operation of the Essex County Commissary at the Correctional Facility, exercising 2-year contract option, revenue to the county.
Thank you. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Bobadilla, seconded by Freeholder Toro. Thank you. Please move to resolution number 20 and read.
Resolution 20, Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Purchasing, contract with IMR Limited to provide proprietary software, on-base licensing and maintenance services for 2015, amount not to exceed $2,576.
Thank you. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Bobadilla, seconded by Freeholder Luciano. Thank you. Madam Clerk, resolutions 21 through 41 are all commendations, and we will take them together as one. I believe that we read some of them last week, am I right?
Yes.
Are there any on here that we did not read last week?
Yes, Madam President. Resolution 40 and 41.
Okay, please read.
Resolution 40, commendation honoring the East Orange Campus High School Boys Winter Track Team, New Jersey Group 4 State Champions, sponsored by Freeholder Timberlake. And would you like me to read
Yes,
Resolution
please
41?
read resolution 41 as well.
Resolution 41, commendation honoring Tobia M. Corbett on her retirement from the State of New Jersey Department of Children and Family Divisions of Child Protection and Permanency, sponsored by Freeholder Timberlake.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments, freeholders? Okay. Hearing none, do I have a motion and a second to take them all together as one?
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Jones,
Second.
seconded by Freeholder Richardson. Okay, thank you. Freeholders, do we have any reports of board committees? Do we have any legislative reports? How about any written communications? I'm acknowledging Freeholder Rufus Johnson, who's now with us. Freeholders, do you have any unfinished business? Do you have any new business to discuss? Okay, Madam Clerk, let's go to public comment section. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any matter at all, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you'll have 3 minutes as marked by the clock. Good evening.
My name is Teresa Calhoun. I live at 68 Ashland Avenue here in East Orange, and I'm also a member of GENESO, which is the healthcare union that represents the nurses and techs at St. Mike's. I was wondering.
You can pull the mic down so it's more comfortable for you.
I'm sure you all. I'm sure that you know that the plan is to bring St. Mike's and East Orange General to an ambulatory care only. And I just need to know what you guys' position is, because I'm not hearing anything here in East Orange about the fight to keep East Orange General opening. But I know in Newark, we are fighting to keep St. Mike's open. So I'm just trying to find out what's the status, where's the fight in East Orange?
Freeholders, do you have any comments? Usually we don't do comments, however, it's a direct question. Usually we'll respond in writing, which we will also do so as well, but it's a direct question to the freeholders. Currently, there's a lot going on with the Newark healthcare system, and hospitals are being threatened with being potentially closed or changing the way in which the services are delivered. And would anybody like to make a comment regarding that? As a matter of fact, before I get to you, Freeholder Richardson, is there any other member that wishes to come to speak at this time? Any other member of the public? Okay. Hearing none, I'm going to formally do it this way. We're going to go into Freeholder public comment session, which is next, in which we can then make public comments regarding your question. Freeholder Richardson, we're in public comment session now.
So, I have heard Mayor Taylor address that issue. He spoke about that issue and joining with Newark and doing everything he can. They have urged everyone in East Orange and Newark to call their legislative representatives, to flood the governor's office with emails and phone calls, to address those issues, to keep East Orange, General Open, and St. Michael. So there are things that are going on through the mayor's office, Mayor Lester Taylor. He is talking about that. But you're a resident here in East Orange. I would urge you to reach out to your council people and the mayor's office again, and just try to work with them to formulate a plan and see what they're doing, because they have and they are addressing those issues.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
In regards to St. Michael's, last year I presented a resolution in support of St. Michael's, and I think I was joined by my fellow colleagues in support of keeping St. Michael's local and make sure we have access to it. The Navigant report, which you're referring to, is more dealing with what the nature of healthcare and healthcare systems look at a local level. I read the report in its entirety, and I will be releasing an op-ed, but the report itself is not a blueprint for what's going to happen. It's merely a report that was commissioned by the state to find out what healthcare trends are happening, what it should look like, and what other counties have done. The op-ed that I will be putting out will answer some questions that I'm aware about, but I can tell you that wholeheartedly we do support keeping St. Michael's open, but it's ambiguous though, because we're not really talking about closing St. Michael's. This is what people need to get out of. The report does not mention anything about closing St. Michael's. And I think a lot of people are using it as a platform, and that's not the case. The case right now seems to be relative to the past history of the buyers and their practices. And again, in about a week, you'll see an op-ed that will answer some questions, and feel free to reach out to me if you need to. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder Bobadilla. Any other questions or comments from the freeholders? Freeholder Johnson.
For the record, from H to K, I vote affirmative.
Can you come into the microphone, because I can't hear you that well?
For the record, I would like to put H through K affirmative on my behalf on the record.
Okay. Ms. Calhoun, thank you so much for coming to the microphone and talking about this. This is an issue of concern. This is something that I spoke about the day in which I was voted in, sworn in as freeholder and voted in as freeholder president. St. Mike's is very dear to my heart. I coming from the nonprofit sector, there wasn't always insurance available to me. So I can pretty much tell you about every single facility within a certain mile radius. And one of those facilities that I still go to now that I'm blessed to have insurance is St. Michael's. And the thought of it, not being there or having the programs cut out of there is incredibly disheartening. And I do stand in solidarity in the fight and am willing to roll up my sleeves and get them dirty and get my hands dirty in any way possible when it comes to making sure that we have that facility for the community. So we are there, and I have heard Mayor Taylor speak about it as well. So maybe you can also let me know some additional things other than publicly speaking about it. Maybe you can let us all know what else it is that we can do to help in the fight to save these facilities in our community, because they are needed. And shout out to Dr. Pappas at St. Michael's Hospital. Thank you. Freeholders, any other comments that you'd like to make? Do I have a motion to adjourn?